Bhopal, city of 1.5 million people in the heart of India. It's known as the City of Lakes. But it's also the scene of the world's worst industrial disaster. During the night of December 2nd to 3rd, 1984, a huge toxic gas cloud escaped from a tank at the Union Carbide pesticide plant.
Les enfants meurent devant moi et je ne peux rien faire. Nous traitons juste les symptômes, nous les soulageons, mais nous ne pouvons pas les aider vraiment.
500,000 people were temporarily affected, 100,000 permanently. No one knows exactly how many deaths have been mourned. 3,000 to 5,000 died on the first night alone. 25 years later, the city and its citizens are still reeling.
I did not see what actually happened that night. I did not see bodies on the streets. I did not see people were tearing, foaming with their mouths and all. So I was lucky.
The disaster in Bhopal is still on. That there are not one but two disasters that are ongoing. One caused by Union Carbide's toxic gases, and that the other caused by the hazardous waste.
I did not lose my parents. I did not lose my siblings. They were killed. They were killed by a company.
1984 के हादसे में एक तो मौतों का सिलसिला अभी तक जो चल रहा है, दूसरा जो कंपनी ने वहाँ पे जहर छोड़ा है कंपनी के अंदर, वो पानी के अंदर मिलकर पूरी 14 से 18 बस्तियाँ जो हैं उसमें वो पानी जहरीला हो गया है और वो पानी पीने से रोज़ लोग मौत के करीब जा रहे हैं. ये सबसे ज़्यादा खतरनाक हादसा है.
The company refuses to face trial in court and yet blames an unnamed worker, and it continues to do that with the support of the United States government that is not extraditing the corporation. And the company refuses to clean up the toxic waste. I'm talking about the Dow Chemical Company, refuses to clean up the toxic waste and pay for the health injuries, the birth defects, the damages that it has caused.
Union Carbide, bought by Dow Chemical in 2001, continues to claim that the disaster was an act of sabotage by a mysterious disgruntled worker. Tota Ram Chouhan worked at the plant. Over the years since the disaster, he has questioned former colleagues and filled boxes with documents. With no resources to speak of, he has written a book about his conclusions. For him, it's clear. From the time the plant opened in '69, this was a catastrophe waiting to happen. At the abandoned plant site, Mr. Chouhan strongly denounces the theory of sabotage.
As a worker, when I came to know this thing, because of a disgruntled worker did all these things, so then I take all the evidence related to the disaster. And when I saw all these things, so it is very well planned by the management. It is sabotage, but not by any worker. It is sabotage by the management, higher person, those who made decision to build this plant by unproven technology. He is responsible, not worker. Higher management is responsible. It is really sabotage by the higher management.
This is not only Mr. Chouhan's conclusion. Other independent studies show that the plant was badly designed and had significant flaws. Too many chemicals were stored on site. Workers had insufficient training. To save money, certain safety systems to detect or treat leaks did not exist or weren't working.
We are told that it is on the basis of advanced technology and it is most modern plant. When actually started work, so we saw so many problems in the process, in the safety equipment, in the pollution. So since beginning, these plants are making problem. So through union we started raising this problem. We wrote letters to the state government, to the central government, to Union Carbide India Limited. So in 1981, in the end of the 81, there was one phosgene gas leak in MIC plant, and because of the phosgene exposure, our one worker died, and we started to tell the poor people that you must support us to fight with the management, with the company, because your safety is also related to this plant. But we didn't got support from the public. They thought that workers might want to gain something from the management, so we didn't got support.
The plant was in the heart of a densely populated area. Since its opening, Union Carbide had dumped hundreds of tons of chemical waste around the plant. And in '84, the tragedy. A tank leaks MIC gas. MIC is used to make pesticide. In '98, 14 years later, Union Carbide handed its lease over to the state government of Madhya Pradesh.
They canceled the lease. They hand over all this plant to the government and they left. So all the toxic waste is still lying. It is the responsibility of Union Carbide Corporation because they are still making MIC. They know how to treat all this contaminated land for free, clean environment, but they did nothing.
According to various estimates, at least 20,000 people have died since '84 from exposure to toxic gas or by consuming contaminated water. Tens of thousands more live with respiratory or gynecological problems, cancers, eye disorders, or immune disorders. With other activists, Satina Sarangi started the Sambhavna Clinic. Thousands of survivors receive care at the clinic, which combines Western medical practice with traditional Indian medicine. Satina is sickened by the fact that Union Carbide continues to withhold information on the effects of these toxic gases on the human body.
The company has this information by research, but yet it is hiding, and that is affecting the treatment of the people. It is prolonging their suffering and causing many preventable deaths. This is today. And that not only was it an industrial disaster, it's also a judicial disaster, that people are still being denied justice, that people who have lost their friends and family and are dying themselves are still the people responsible for it, the individuals and agencies responsible for it are still unpunished, and they go scot-free. And this should not be allowed, because this is encouraging other corporations to do the same thing. And overall, the corporation is following a policy of double standards, what we call environmental racism, by when Dow Chemical accepts liabilities, legal liabilities in the US, Union Carbide's liabilities, but refuses to accept those liabilities in Bhopal.
Some survivors were paid about $500 American for each dead family member. Others have received nothing. Citizens banded together and continued to bring their fight before the courts and to the streets. A residents' association in one of the neighborhoods near the plant meets regularly to organize protests.
सबसे बड़ा काम ये किया डाउ कंपनी ने कि यूनियन कार्बाइड को ख़रीद लिया, और अगर उसको ख़रीदा था तो उसको ये पूछना था यूनियन कार्बाइड को कि भोपाल के लोगों का कुछ कर्जा तो बाकी नहीं है। हमारा थोड़ा छोटा सा मोहल्ला था, छोटा सा मोहल्ले में 222 मकान थे, फैमिली रहती थी 222, उसमें से 67 लोग उसी दिन 3 तारीख की रात में सुबह ख़त्म होगा 4 बजे। और वहाँ पर जानवर थे, डेयरियाँ थीं, भैंसें मरी, ये सब्ज़ी के पेड़ थे, सब्ज़ी के बगीचे थे, वो ख़राब हुई, और पानी के कुएँ थे वो ख़राब हुए, बिल्कुल काला पानी हो गया।
जब तक भोपाल के गैस पीड़ितों को और उसी यूनियन कार्बाइड का मुद्दा है पानी पीड़ितों को, जब तक इंसाफ नहीं मिलेगा, जब तक हम यूं ही लड़ते चले जाएंगे और आने वाली पीढ़ी भी इतनी होशियार हो जाएगी कि वो अपने हकों के लिए लड़ती रहेगी।
Many victims have transformed into activists who are capable of rising up against one of the most powerful companies in the chemical industry, Dow Chemical.
A victim is a person who has given up, who just sees herself or himself as someone who has been exploited or done wrong to, but it does not have the sense and the spirit of what is there. We believe in every human being that whatever be the odds, we can still rise up to it, and we can still confront it, and we can still sing and play and dance to the music of the human spirit, which is at the end of the day is survival against the greatest of odds, which is what we owe evolution to.
What's most frightening is that new generations are suffering the terrible consequences of '84. Even now, babies are born with genetic disorders, mental deficiencies, or malformations. Rashida B. and Champa Devi Shukla created Chingari Trust. It's a rehabilitation center that offers physiotherapy and audiology services, plus specialized education to 100 handicapped children.
क्योंकि भोपाल की लड़ाई आज 25 साल बीतने के बाद भी हम लोगों का जोश ख़त्म नहीं हुआ है, हम लोग लड़ रहे हैं। तो हम ये मानते हैं कि हम फूल नहीं चिंगारी हैं, हम भोपाल की नारी हैं, फूल नहीं चिंगारी हैं। और चिंगारी ट्रस्ट एक जो वो फ्लेम है, हम चाहते हैं एक दिन शोला बन जाए और यहाँ से बच्चों को बहुत ज़्यादा फ़ायदा मिले।
The gas affected Rashida and Champa Devi, and some members of their family died. After the catastrophe, they began organizing for the rights of survivors. For their activism, they received the prestigious Goldman Prize and $125,000 American, which they used to start Chingari Trust.
बीमार हैं और तकलीफ से गुजरते हुए भी अपनी हिम्मत को नहीं हारा है, और हमारी लड़ाई की वजह से सारी दुनिया इन कंपनियों के कारनामे को समझी है कि ये किस तरह से जहर बनाते और कैसे छुपा के इंसान की ज़िंदगी से और पर्यावरण से खिलवाड़ करते हैं। वो चीज़ सामने आई है, ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। हम तो मरे हैं, लेकिन दुनिया को बचाने के लिए हमारी लड़ाई जारी है, और 25 साल के बाद भी आज हमारी लड़ाई पूरी ताकत के साथ ज़िंदा हुई है। पूरी दुनिया इस चीज़ को समझी है, और जो विकलांग बच्चे पैदा हो रहे हैं वो भी एक उदाहरण बने हैं दुनिया का कि ये इस तरह की पीढ़ी आने वाली है, इसको रोकना है।
Sanjay Kumar Verma survived because his sister fled with him in her arms. His father, mother, and 5 of his brothers and sisters died the tragic night of December 2nd to 3rd, '84.
I was 6 months old when the disaster occurred, and so whatever I know, I came to know about the disaster from my sister and brother, the 2 other survivors from my family, and also because of the people I've been working with. As I said, I was living in one of the exposed communities that time, right across the street to the factory, and we were like 10 members in our family. 7 of them died that night, and then we moved to an orphanage in Bhopal, I and my sister, but my brother didn't come with us. He wanted to keep the fight on for the justice for the people of Bhopal, so he didn't come with us to the orphanage, and then I started my education in the orphanage, and I'm still studying. I've noticed that even the governments, even the companies, they just care for money. They do not care for people. All they want is money, money, and money. Corporations, companies doing their business, like they are they are poisoning the world. They have not just poisoned the Bhopal. They are still poisoning the world. So people should learn from the accident of Bhopal, and they should stop such kind of things which can be happen in future in their countries. So they should stop before it happens, because people of Bhopal, as I said, they were innocent. They knew nothing about the factory, what they were manufacturing. So our fight is not to get justice for Bhopal only. Our fight is to stop other Bhopals in the world also.
If justice is denied in Bhopal, the world is that much unsafe. Workers are that much unsafe. Communities are that much unsafe. And so it's a common struggle that needs to be won.
People here are so strong. They've been fighting for almost 25 years. And we'll keep fighting until we get proper justice, which is still to be done in Bhopal.